Hello, guys, and welcome to United's glory. Manchester United returning to Old Trafford for the first time since the break from lockdown against the Blades, Sheffield United, in another match in what was a must-win match and was pivotal in the race for top four. Manchester United came through with flying colours, thumping Sheffield United 3-0 in a comfortable win that, quite frankly, could have been double the scoreline. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer rung some changes. He brought Matic into the base of midfield alongside Paul Pogba returning for his first start in a long time, and Mason Greenwood took the place of Dan James on the right of the forward trio. Solskjaer stuck to the 4-2-3-1 formation and had Pogba next to Matic with Bruno further advanced up the field. Sheffield United started brightly, but it was a matter of time before United got their foot on the ball and asserted themselves on the game, quickly taking the lead through Martial after a good assist by Rashford. Rashford missed a couple of sitters where basically if he had his shooting boots on and not his assisting boots on, he would have had a brace. After the first half water break, Sheffield United galvanised themselves a little bit, but it was once again a matter of time before United got their foot back on the ball and started to reassert their dominance. And Martial put the second one away after some great work from Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, beating his man, being brave and aggressive, beating his man, drilling the ball into Anthony Martial for a simple finish. This came after some good work from Bruno and Pogba. That partnership is already starting to blossom. United, who have often been poor in second halves this season and have dropped off, continued and stayed consistent with their level of performance from the first half and continued dominating, picking Sheffield United apart with passing far more often, keeping control of possession and keeping it well. And for the first time in his Manchester United career, Anthony Martial ruthlessly and coldly completed his hat-trick after more combination play from Bruno and Pogba, who eventually found Anthony Martial, who found Rashford, who gave him the ball back in return, and Martial dinked the goalkeeper with a spectacular finish. It was a comfortable win for Manchester United. Beyond the third goal, the game was simply over, and after that it was pretty much a training match for Manchester United. We could afford to bring 5 players off at once, giving rests to the likes of Pogba, Bruno, Martial and Rashford in preparation for the next game against Norwich. For the first time in a long time, I saw some great interchange play in and around the box with Bruno and Pogba keeping possession tardily and cleverly and picking out the pass at the right moment. It goes without saying, Bruno is simply infectious, not only always willing to take the ball, which gives Pogba an outlet further up the field to pick out a pass, but this inspires the front three to be far less static than what we have seen in the past. They make far more runs and we see them closer together and interchanging, moving cleverly into spaces. This was an extremely positive performance from Manchester United, and if we carry on in this vein, we will get Champions League. I am confident of that. I cannot see many teams competing with how we played in this particular game. Sheffield United are a good team. They may not have come back in full swing, but we still picked apart a good team and deservedly won 3-0. Should have been more. So, time for player ratings. David De Gea in goal. A bad mistake against Tottenham that arguably cost us all 3 points. Didn't really get tested in this game. He only really had one save to make from McBurney, which was a comfortable save, routine save. He didn't do anything wrong, so I have to give him a 7 out of 10 because it was good. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. I'm going to give Aaron Wan-Bissaka an 8 out of 10. Sublime assist for Anthony Martial's second goal. He is brave and aggressive in his attacking play, adventurous, and he's improving. Absolutely solid defensively, and his attacking game seems to be getting better and better. He was a bargain for 50 million as far as I'm concerned, and at the moment is United's player of the season. At centre-back, Lindelof, didn't really hear his name that much, to be honest, but ultimately that's what you want from a centre-back. Not that he's as good as Fabio Cannavaro, but what always astounded me about my favourite defender, Fabio Cannavaro, is that you would never hear his name throughout a whole game, simply because he just did his job. I called for Eric Bailly to be brought into the team in the match preview, but I cannot complain about Lindelof's performance. Extremely assured, 7 out of 10. And I'll give the same rating to the captain, Harry Maguire, as well. He was comfortable, and the lack of threat from Sheffield United's forward line has to be put down to stellar defensive work. 7 out of 10. Luke Shaw at left back, a better performance than against Tottenham, but still takes no risks, switches off. However, he did make a really good pass to Igalo and was unlucky not to have an assist. If Igalo had brought that down and brought it under control, you would imagine him finishing that to make it 4-0. So I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6 out of 10, but before that pass, it was a 5 out of 10 for me. I have to hold Luke Shaw to the same standards as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And right now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is better than him defensively and offensively. Luke Shaw needs to improve drastically and reach Aaron Wan-Bissaka's level and consistency defensively and offensively. Take more risks, Luke. At the base of the midfield was Nemanja Matic. A flawless performance from Nemanja Matic. Extremely good in possession. What I really like about Nemanja Matic is how he drops into the centre-back role when Man United are in possession, allowing our centre-backs, Lindelof and Maguire, to split. Nemanja Matic wasn't pressed today, which I think is his biggest weakness coming up against the top teams. But today, I have no complaints. 8 out of 10 for Nemanja Matic for me. On to Bruno Fernandes. A little wasteful at the beginning of the game, but the thing is, he's always probing, he's always trying. Because he's doing that, encourages the forward line to take more chances. After a little bit of a shaky start from Bruno in terms of retention of the ball, he did improve. We got to see signs of some fantastic link-up play between him and Paul Pogba. This is what we've all been looking forward to, and it's already starting to blossom. His touch to Martial leading up to the third goal was absolutely sublime and tore open Sheffield United's defence. An 8 out of 10 for Bruno for me today. On to Paul Pogba, his first start in a long time. This guy is world class. With the opposition's defence now more worried about Bruno Fernandes, this opens up more space for Pogba to either travel into or pick out a pass. And man, can this guy pick out a pass. He was industrious today, clean, tidy, and made things happen. Basically, the reason Manchester United was so good in possession today was because of Paul Pogba. He oozes class, and for me, he gets a 9 out of 10 today because Manchester United's improved performance for me was because of this man. On to Mason Greenwood, a deserved start on the right flank. He has presence on the right. He did drift in and out the game a little bit, but the ball sticks with him, and when he gets the ball in advanced positions, you feel like something's about to happen, which is something you cannot say about Daniel James at the moment. When playing against deeper defences, Mason Greenwood has the ability to pick a lock, whereas Dan James often just passes backwards. Mason Greenwood can see that forward pass. For me, he should be now starting on that right flank. A 7 out of 10 for Mason Greenwood. On to Marcus Rashford. Bit of a Jekyll and Hyde performance today. He had his assisting boots on, but his shooting boots, I think he left them at home. 2 great assists. He opened up the game by assisting Martial to begin with for the first goal, and it was a clever pass for the third goal. However, there's no doubt about it, he should have scored both the chances he had. His head did seem to drop after he missed those chances, but once again, he got back into it by assisting Martial for the third goal. So I'm going to be harsh from Rashford here. I'm going to only give him a 7 out of 10 despite those 2 assists, because quite frankly, he should be finishing those chances, and that should go against him in this game, at least for these ratings. On to hat-trick hero and man of the match, Anthony Martial. 3 goals, 3 great finishes. The third one was cold. I would even say he should have had 4 goals. When setting up Rashford for a chance he should have scored, I don't blame Martial for that, but I personally like to see my strikers be ruthless and greedy. Harking back to a Ruud van Nistelrooy, he isn't passing that, he buries it. And Martial would have buried it if he would have gone for goal on that particular occasion. Obviously, he wanted to feed Rashford, who just fed him for the first goal. But 10 out of 10 for Martial for me today. Hold-up play, exquisite. Interplay, brilliant. Travelling with the ball, beating a man, 3 goals. What more can you say? Anthony Martial, brilliant performance. We had 5 substitutes: McTominay, Pereira, Mata, James and Igalo. It was pretty much a training match at that point, so I'm just going to give each one a 6 out of 10. Igalo probably should have scored after Luke Shaw's pass near the end of the game to make it 4-0, but his touch just slightly went away from him. A bit of a better touch, he would have had a goal. But guys, a very positive performance. I believe we can get top 4, continue playing like this. It's going to be very hard for opposition teams, and at least the level of teams we've got in our remaining games, to stop Bruno and Pogba, especially if they blossom further. Rashford, Martial and Greenwood just need to keep at it because they're going to score a lot of goals if we continue to play like this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got it right today. I said we had to win this game, considering that Chelsea have got Manchester City, and we did it and did it in convincing fashion. So no complaints from me. More of the same, please. Ole against Norwich. Beat Norwich, and we could find ourselves in the top 4. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Give me your player ratings. Do you think I was harsh? Do you think I was generous to certain players? Let me know your thoughts. If you love talking about Manchester United, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's plenty of content incoming. Please smash a like on the video if you agree that Anthony Martial was man of the match. Champions League, here we come. See you soon, guys.